Hi everybody, Lori here from My Favorite Things. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun, festive, stamped project to share with you using products from the latest card kit. I'm going to show you some of the products I'll be using. We have this beautiful pressed poinsettias stamp set. It's like a layering poinsettia stamp set, which I'll be using. This is the Winter Poinsettias Dynamics. If you didn't want to stamp but you want to die cut, you can die cut your poinsettias. For sentiments, we have Christmas Wishes and then the coordinating Christmas Wishes Dynamics. But my project today is going to be a simple stamping project. This would be a great one if you wanted to mass produce. You could just take these panels in and out and keep on stamping because you don't have to move the stamp around a ton. I placed the larger poinsettia kind of in the left top. It's hanging off a bit. My panel is trimmed down a little bit smaller than a card base because I like a nice border. So I'm stamping this twice. You know what they say, stamp it twice to make it nice. And then I just rotate the panel. Instead of moving the stamp, I just rotated the panel and I'm going to stamp this twice again. So what I'm doing here is kind of creating a little composition that will frame a nice sentiment right in the center of the card, which there are a lot of beautiful sentiments in the Christmas Wishes stamp set that I'll be using later. And then now I take the smaller poinsettia bloom and I'm going to layer it on top of that larger poinsettia and use a slightly darker red ink. I'm using a mixture of Simon's Stamp ink, some Pink for Studio. Just use whatever reds and greens, or if you wanted to make a soft pinky rose poinsettia, even a nice cream. They have some beautiful colored poinsettias out there now, but you know, I ain't opposed to making rainbow poinsettias. I am not opposed, so feel free to use whatever colors tickle your poinsettia loving fancy. Now there are little, do you call these like veins of the poinsettia? I'm going to layer those on the smaller one. There's also a veiny stamp for the larger. I didn't use that one. I'm just using the smaller one with a dark kind of cranberry brick red ink. You could also stamp it in black or brown. And now to add some leaves. There are different leaves in the stamp set that you can mix and match, different sizes. I'm going to do this smaller one and layer it with a couple different shades of green. I'm trying to bring in as much. This is kind of a traditional color scheme. A lot of times I go real non-traditional just to spice it up. But today I'm showing a very easy, simple, stamped, traditional Christmas card. And like I said before, if you had a bunch of panels of white cardstock ready to go, you just, every time you stamp one thing, switch out your panel and you could knock out a bunch of these at once. And I am not a big mass producer type of gal. A lot of times my cards are very involved and take a lot of time, but I like it that way. It's what I'm drawn to. But this here is a little simpler, just simple stamping, no die cutting, and nice and flat for mailing. I did add a little foam tape onto this panel, but if you wanted to keep it flat, you could for mailing. Because I talk about this in my one last video. Sometimes my cards get so thick, I go to the post office to mail it. It costs $5. Not because it's heavy, but because I made it so thick. Anywho, okay, I'm adding the little veiny detail to these leaves. And I'm just using the same color that I stamped them in. So it's a bit of tone on tone. If you don't have 1,000,001 inks to choose from, tone on tone will work just fine. Okay, now I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I chose one from the Christmas Wishes stamp set. And like I said before, there's a lot of beautiful ones. You could also stamp this and die cut it with the coordinating die and pop it up. But I didn't want to cover up any of this beautiful background, the stamped background. Now I'm taking some little, I think these are like little berry branches, and they're kind of coming off of the card into the frame. So I want it to be, it's kind of a bit of a faux wreath feel for the holidays. I'm adding the berries with that same dark cranberry red that I used for the veins of the poinsettia. So kind of tying in all those shades. These berries are so fun. You could add glossy accents on top of them, or if you have enamel dots, if you want to add a little more dimension or shine, that's a fun way to do it. And then I'm taking that same dark cranberry red and adding just the little centers to the poinsettia. I was tempted to add little gemstones to the centers of the poinsettias, but I wanted to keep this card simple stamping. Not a lot of product, not a lot of bulk, just easy peasy lemon squeezy for the holidays. Okay, I'm going to add one more little leaf sprig, and I'm bringing in an aqua color just for something a little bit unexpected. You've got that red and green happening, but just a kiss of aqua kind of brightens it up. I don't know. I was just feeling it. I know you can keep going. You can keep going and add more and more and more, but you can also make it simple depending on, how you feel. You want to go simple, you want to go detailed, live your life. The holidays can be hectic. The last thing we want to do is stress out about the cards. We want to have fun. We're having fun. We're stamping to the high heavens. I popped this up on a soft gray card base, and I did add a few sparkling clear sequins here and there just to give it a little shimmer and shine. It just feels like you dressed up. It's like adding a lip gloss. You know what I mean? And this card is finished. May the beauty and joy of the season fill your heart. Make sure and check out the My Favorite Things website for more inspiration using these beautiful products from the latest card kit. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.